Thanks very much, Robin. Craig McMillan coming into picture there. And this is the dismissal of Chris Harris. What an innings he played, and didn't he thrill the crowd and His Highness the King of Malaysia, who just strolled into the ground about an hour or so ago, and he's just seen some big hitting. And a big appeal for LBW. We've only had 2 in this tournament, and we've still only had 2 in this tournament.
A close shout here. The ball pitching on about middle leg. That's close, but probably just going down the leg side.
Full toss, hard to do much with if it's low, as we've said. Far better off being a low full toss than something bowling halfway down the pitch.
Yes, Matthew Horn, when we've played against him over the years, has generally been an onside player, likes to sweep the spinners, and he's doing a good job here for New Zealand. Was in the back seat role when Chris Harris was at the crease, but now just moving along nicely.
Nice strike through the offside. We've seen it's very difficult to hit boundaries on the offside. Very heavy outfield. Saw Chris Harris hit one early in his innings off the back foot. Just have a look at the colour of the ball, how dirty this ball has got with this loam-based outfield. Very, very dirty, and I wonder whether that's going to be a factor in a couple of months' time with the Commonwealth Games, 50-over matches. Perhaps something that needs to be addressed. And brilliant piece of fielding, but the umpire said not out. Realising that he couldn't get the ball stopped, he just kept his momentum going forward and did it very well.
Yeah, ball right up in the block hole, and looked like it was just going to jog through for a single. But the bowler made very good ground. Matthew Horn was quite safe. Talking about the white balls, but I think Chris Harris's innings, they've probably got no white ones left, David.
Yes, they've gone into those canals outside the ground. Australia used to experiment with 2 white balls in their domestic cricket. I know that is still the case in South Africa. Good change of pace. And it continues to amaze me, Shane, that one-day cricket and the white balls have been around since 1978, and yet we still haven't been able to invent a ball that is good enough for 50 overs, or indeed for night test matches.
Well, exactly right, Dave. With all the technology and everything around, in Shield cricket in Australia we used orange balls for a little while, but they just seemed to disfigure a little bit and change colour. And under lights there was sort of a little flash behind the orange ball, so it was hard to pick up. That's the over. The score's 4 for 127. So they have experimented with a few different balls, colour, orange, white, yellow. But you'd think with all the technology around that they would be able to come up with some sort of ball that doesn't disfigure too much.
I've always thought that in day games, which we're playing now, the red ball should still be used. It is the best ball. Sure, it means you couldn't have red coloured clothes. You have to adjust a bit of that, but you can still have your coloured clothes, still have what makes the limited over version game exciting, but the best cricket ball is sitting in a box inside. 11 overs gone, 14 over matches, these Super Max 8's. So 3 overs remaining, and good targets should be set by New Zealand here if they just keep going. Look at that innings from Chris Harris, 71 from just 27 balls. Afridi following his fast leg breaks. Have you ever... Does Afridi or Anil Kumble?
No, it's quite difficult. You find that most of the guys bowling that fast don't turn the ball a lot. Cricket, just to try and get the ball on a line of length, and basically if the batsman misses, you hit. So the batsman should try and treat them as a medium pace in-swing sort of bowler.
And hit wide of mid-wicket, and well, the umpire will have to ask for some help on that one. It's a long boundary out there to mid-wicket. And 4 runs. The batsman had a second look to perhaps think it was a 6.
The ball wasn't that short, and Horn was in such good position that he could play the pull shot. we see the ball just landing inside the rope.
And what a great delivery. Great delivery, and he got himself into all sorts of trouble, Horn. Brilliant piece of wicketkeeping as well, and the stumping, the third umpire is doing some work.
We talk about the fast delivery from Afridi. Horn trying to go through the offside. A good take, foot in the air. He just looks like he got it back. Looks like it was safe. From that angle, you see a different angle. Started to come forward, then realised he wasn't to the pitch. It was quick thinking to get his foot back. I'm sure you'll see a green light here.
And the green and red light continues to give me a lot of amusement. I know small things amuse small minds, Shane, but everywhere else in the world, you get a green light, you go, and you get a red light and you stop, except in cricket. It's always been not sure how that one actually works, but just learning some information that Ali Barker had it the way that you would normally think, but the ICC, in their wisdom at Lords, sat down in one cold winter's day with some gins and tonic, a few cigars, and said, no, we'll have it the other way.
Just if people were, the players and the public weren't confused enough, just to throw a little bit of more turmoil in there.
And again, the pull shot, and what a catch. We haven't seen too many great outfield catches, but Salim has run about 25 metres and dived at mid-wicket on the longest boundary, and he is pleased, and so he should be. That's the best outfield catch we've seen in the 3 days.
That's a great catch. Afridi going for a faster one, just a bit too full for Horn to pull, as he did previously. We see the Pakistan fielder just making some good ground here, putting in the big ones, trying to make a yard, keep his eyes on the ball, and Salim took a great catch. That's probably one of the best catches we've seen. Matthew Horn departs for 38. It's 5 for 138.
New Zealand are now 138.
Well, always disappointing when you get out, and people speak to you and they say, well, you shouldn't be as disappointed if you get out to a great catch, but I think you are, because you just see other situations where you drop a catch yourself, an easy one, and suddenly somebody takes a blinder like that and you think, well, why me? But it was a great catch from Salim, and that brings in the wicketkeeper for New Zealand in Phil Chandler. Phil Chandler, who's been afforded the wicket-keeping duties in this tournament for his country. He comes in for this reason.
Matthew Horn was really hoping that it was just going to be a little bit wide of him, but he made some very, very good ground there, Salim. And that's a great catch. Foot wasn't far away from the rope, and a very good judge catch.
Razak has come back into the attack. It's 2 for 7 from his 2 overs. Got wickets with consecutive deliveries. So New Zealand with 2 overs remaining. Chandler will look for 2 and we'll get it comfortably. Just goes to show you what smart batting can do. And I just think if you ever could put a computer program into a batsman's brain to be sensible like that for every delivery, you would get your 12 runs and over comfortably all the time. But no, batsmen get intelligent for a while, then lose it. Try and hit balls across the line and do things like that. And again, I know a lot of batsmen, Shane, who get to the cricket grounds at the turnstile, take their head off, put a pumpkin on. And some of them at night forget to get their head back on. They leave their pumpkin on.
Maybe they were just after 12. But I remember Bob Simpson, he used to say he'd like to have a buzzer there that would actually buzz you when you're out in the field if you're doing something wrong. He used to like to have the buzzer connected to a certain part of the anatomy that used to make you sit up and listen.
And a full toss, good shout, I would have thought, from Razak. The umpires turned it down. And a leg bye will result, and no overthrows in the offing, but very good shout. We've seen a couple of full tosses given not out in this tournament that may well have been very close.
Yeah, we see the ball just delivered from a little bit wide of the crease, which means that the angle it had to travel from wide of the crease to the stumps meant the ball was just going to go down the leg side. A good decision from the umpire.
So Razak being most impressive. Mohammed Zahid, the man missing in this game. I'd like to see, I know that you discussed the laws, I know you're interested, Shane, in always keeping the game going forward. I'd like to see the bouncer brought back into the one-day game, just to take a little bit of the predictability out of it.
Well, this year, David, I think in international cricket, they're going to move the bouncer law that you can actually bowl a legitimate bouncer as long as it doesn't go over head height. The rule used to be anything above the shoulders was a no ball. I think they're talking about moving above head height. So I think that just adds to the batsman. Instead of just charging every ball, he's just not quite sure when the bowler's going to throw in the short one.
Clipped away on leg side. In fact, no man is out there. The man that finally has been brought up inside the circle in Bastard Ali himself, the captain. So a great shot from the New Zealand captain.
Yeah, very good shot here. It wasn't too bad a ball. It was a good length ball on about off stump, but Craig McMillan is seeing the ball well in this tournament and just clipped that over to the vacant area down on the onside. Looks in pretty good touch, McMillan.
Australia's 159 yesterday is the highest score of the competition. So New Zealand doing very well. And bowled. So Razak responds to the boundary with a wicket, and he has taken his third wicket, so he has been very, very good.
And that's the ball of the sixth New Zealand wicket. New Zealand 147.
Razak coming in here, just looked like it tailed in a little bit there, an inside edge from Craig McMillan. And as I was just saying, he started to look good as normal. He just proves you wrong and gets out. Craig McMillan out for 5. It's 6 for 147.
So Australia, the highest total in the tournament, 159. And South Africa chased that total and got 145. So that's been overhauled by the New Zealanders at the moment. They are 147. And just 6 balls remaining. So a nice little warm-up for the New Zealanders. They play Australia in the final after the luncheon adjournment, so they won't be displeased with the way they've batted.
No, that's right. Alex Tate comes to the crease, and Australians will be looking at how the New Zealanders are playing at the moment. They haven't played against each other, and because of the washout yesterday. And I'm sure the Australians will be having a look at the way they're playing at the moment, New Zealand, and they're dominating at the moment. They're starting to find their form. They're hitting some good shots, and it looks like it's going to be a high-scoring final if they keep playing like this.
Phil Chandler on strike. Start of the final over. Tamor Khan, the bowler. New Zealand just warming up for the final against Australia. Australia having a nice, relaxing Sunday morning here in Kuala Lumpur. They played their 4 games in the first 2 days, and they've just been able to sit back and relax at their hotel. For our Australian viewers back home awaiting their charges to play, 5 o'clock Eastern time in Australia. Australia will take on New Zealand. Plenty of interest left in this match with New Zealand to bowl. I wonder whether they'll show any tactics or whether they'll just go through the bowling motions. Good slow ball, and he sat and waited, and then just missed it.
And that's the end of the New Zealand innings.
And in fact, that's the end of New Zealand's innings. Their 7th wicket falling with a score at 150, so New Zealand now all out.
Just giving himself some room here, and deceived by the change of pace. Very disappointed. He thought he should have got bat on that one. And New Zealand all out for 150. Should be an interesting total.
Interesting to see how the chase is pursued by the Pakistanis, because we've always felt that around about 10 and over is a tough total to chase, and this is a bit over it. 14 over match, so 151 will be the target for Pakistan when they bat against New Zealand. There's plenty of supporters from New Zealand here in Kuala Lumpur. Basit Ali, the captain of Pakistan. So New Zealand have made 150 in this final match of the round robin part of the tournament. And Chris Harris is fantastic, 71 from 27 balls. And he didn't just hit the ball over the boundary, he hit it a long way over the boundary on many occasions. 3 6s and a 12 to Chris Harris. And that's the bowling for Pakistan. They left out their main strike bowler in Mohammad Zahid, but Razak did so well. 3 for 15 from his maximum 3 overs. And 4 wides as well in the total of 150. So 151 is the target for Pakistan. And we can go down now to Robin Jackman. And when he bowled, he saw a lot of balls hit out of the park, and he's got with him a man who did it so well today, Chris Harris.
Thank you very much for that, David. You were one of them that did it. Yeah, Chris, you played very, very nicely today. You must be very pleased.
Oh, yeah, thanks. No, it was nice to get out and I guess hit a few in the middle.
Tell me, we were discussing up in the commentary box the sort of half a dozen of one and 6 of the other of the merits of playing today with a final this afternoon, in fact back-to-back almost, just with a lunch interval, and discussing whether getting tired was worth having the net, as it were. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think we prefer not to play, especially so close together. It makes it pretty tough on the players. It's pretty exhausting out there, and if you bat, and obviously if you field for your 14 overs and then batter, but it's saps a lot of energy out of you. So I think we preferred not to play, but obviously this wasn't to be, and it was, I guess, nice to give some of the other guys a bit of a bat, moving up the order and try and get some form before the final.
And your thoughts on the final, Chris?
It should be interesting. If that big black cloud stays away, it should be hopefully a good final. It's you know, it's going to be crucial to put whoever bats first to put a reasonable total on the side, because both sides have got pretty attacking batsmen, and I think hopefully it'll be a big scoring final.
Yeah, certainly the way the tournament's gone, people sitting around the ground would probably rate Australia as favourites, purely because when they have won, they've won fairly convincingly. And in fairness, New Zealand, although unbeaten, haven't won as convincingly. But today's performance must start the bookies changing their minds a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. I guess it's a little bit like Jonathan Bailey, really, just cruising through to the Olympic final. You know, not wasting any energy, and hopefully we can, any energy we've saved, we can play in the final. But it's, as you said, Australia are probably favourites. They've won it, I think, 2 or 3 times before, so they're obviously pretty good at this game. But hopefully we can make an upset today.
The format has been pretty much the captain winning the toss, looking to bowl first, and yet just recently there have been 2 games won by sides batting first, and you just might do it again here. You've got a very good first innings total. Do you think that's likely to change things as far as the skipper's concerned when the coin comes down?
I don't think so. I think the reason we did it was because we'd fielded in every other game, and we thought it'd be nice if we lost the toss in the final and perhaps we were inserted, that we at least had batted once in one game just to see what it was like. And you know, so I think now after scoring 150 against Pakistan, we're sort of pretty happy to do either.
Some of the balls that you hit went a very, very long way today, although that is a short side. Let's not take it away. The bloke in the house over there is complaining. Are you known as a big hitter of the ball? Rated in cricket?
All the way.
Well, not really, I don't think so. Well, I guess it was just one of those things, really. It was in the slot, and today it came off the fat, so to speak. So, you know, it was nice, as I said, to get a few in the middle, and they happened to go over the rope, so it's always a nice feeling.
Having a lot of problems with your gloves. Your bottom hand came off a couple of times. You did well to hang on to the bat. Yeah,
well, I played recently in Sri Lanka. I was playing a one-day game, and I just let go of the bat completely, and it just about killed square leg. So I'm pretty conscious that when my hands get a bit slippery, it can be a bit dangerous for the close-in fielders and for the umpires. So I thought it was probably wise to change them.
Yeah, well, Chris, we've kept you long enough, and thanks very much. You're sweating like a pig. Go towel down before you have to go and bowl.
Thanks very much.
Pleasure.
Well, perspiration there, profuse on Chris Harris. It's going to be a problem for the Commonwealth Games in 6 weeks' time. 50 over matches, Shane. We're only seeing 14 overs, so 3 times the time in the field.
Yeah, it is hard work for the players, the humid conditions, and only 14 overs out there. 50 overs is going to be a lot of hard work.
Well, I think when you sit at home, you turn your TV set on and you see, aren't these pictures wonderful? We thought we'd just show you just a little bit of how hard it is to put things together and what sort of facilities are here at Club Oman. This is one of the 4 brand new vans that have been purchased for the Commonwealth Games, which begin on September the 11th. So Radio Television Malaysia purchased the 4 vans. Many of these vans were used in the pre-games events this week. Super Max 8's today, and the last couple of days is the first time we've had a live broadcast out of one of these vans. It takes around about 4 or 5 hours to set up the ground for an outside broadcast. That satellite link takes all the pictures around the world to Fox Sports and to Star. And that's the stump camera cable, and there is, that man represents all our crew. So New Zealand just strolling out onto the ground as the curator is preparing the pitch for this innings, and that is His Majesty the King of Malaysia, who loves his cricket. As I said earlier, one of the main reasons that cricket is in the Commonwealth Games is because of his genuine interest and love of the game, with his MCC tie on. Sitting next to him is Mr. Richard Watson, Operations Manager of the Australian Cricket Board. And there is the van, one of those vans we just showed you in the parking lot just outside the ground. All digital technology, and giving you these fabulous pictures right around the world. And there, that is the pavilion of Club Aman, here just near the city here in Kuala Lumpur, right in the centre of the city. So the players out on the ground for New Zealand, the umpires coming out as well. There's the Australian support staff, or some of them. And these are the wickets that fell for New Zealand, and Bruce Yardley will take you through the wickets. Craig Spearman the first to go.
Yeah, simple catch here for Mohammed Hussain, and we figured that Nathan Astle didn't see that, and he still hasn't seen it. Just didn't pick it up at all. The shot he's played is just not right for the ball that was bowled. And Matthew Bell attempting to sweep across the line, across the spin, and back of the bat, and just popped up to Javed Kader, the wicket keeper. It was again a simple catch for the keeper. That's the way they'd like them all the time, I think. Chris Harris, what an innings from Chris Harris. 71 from 27 deliveries, and went for another big one. Mr. Afridi's knocked him over. He tried to hit a few out of the ground, and he did, and didn't quite get hold of that. Matthew Horn. This is a magnificent catch from Salim Alahi out in the boundary. The best catch, outfield catch of the tournament. Have a look at this. Superb balance, eyes on the ball. Glorious catch. Wasn't such a great delivery, but he's tried to go right over the top. Matthew Horn didn't quite get it. Beautiful. And Craig McMillan, who's captain New Zealand through this, just got an inside edge onto the pad. Bowled Razak for 5.
So last wicket to fall was that of Alex Tate, and he fell in the final over, the 14th over. All in readiness now for the start of the Pakistani chase. 151 for victory, and they're off and running. Opening the bowling, Alex Tate, the man you just saw dismissed, the final man dismissed. Shahid Afridi at the non-strikers end. He's off the mark with a single.
Big hitter of the ball, Shahid Afridi. We saw glimpses of it yesterday afternoon, but then tossed away his wicket again with a wild shot. Elahi played a good innings yesterday.
Well, over 10 runs an over required by the Pakistanis, so they might just settle down for about an over or two, Bruce, but I think that's about all you can afford.
Yes, they can't afford to get behind here. Most of the teams have looked at about maybe 6 or 7 or 8 and over for the first 3 overs, but they can't even afford that, I believe. I think they've got to try and hit straight through the line. 3 men inside the circle.
Wide ball, and umpire will call it. So 2 runs. Extra delivery, so handy one for Pakistan.
Alex Tate saw him moving, I think, and thought he'd try and cramp him and just went a bit too far there. He was giving himself a bit of room to swing the bat.
Just a little bit of gentle in swing. And one of the 3 men inside the circle, Nathan Astle at short fine leg. Always dangerous to have the 2 men up behind the stumps with the new ball at third man and a fine leg.
Yeah, I think they figure that Alex Tate is just bowling just a bit above medium pace. Probably not all that much quicker than a lot of finger spinners at times.
And that's why it's dangerous. As soon as the man's inside the circle, if it gets anywhere near past him, then it goes to the boundary. So 4 runs, in the air for a long time, but 4 runs.
Yeah, it's just one of those chances you take as captain, I think, with your field placements. Now that, just 5 yards to the right there, and it's a catch. I know Shane Warne's been hoping that he'll see a slip, someone put a slip in position for this tournament, but I don't think the percentage is there.
And over the infield, is it? No, it's not. So the New Zealand skipper takes a catch in the first over. Salim Alahi is out, the man who took that wonderful outfield catch, but a comfortable catch for Craig McMillan.
Yeah, the idea wasn't too bad here from Alahi. See him open up the face and he thought he'd just get it over the infield, but stopped his shot about halfway through and didn't get enough power. And a simple catch from McMillan. So the first wicket falls for Pakistan. It's now 9 for 1. There's a big task ahead of these Pakistanis. More than 10 and over. And it wasn't the start they wanted. But they've got to keep going. I think they're either going to get these runs or this could be over with fairly quickly.
So a good result for New Zealand. Just seems if you can get a wicket in your first over, you really do put the pressure back on the batting side, particularly a side that's chasing 151 for victory. Faisal Zahid, the new batsman coming in, and that's why, because a little judged catch by Craig McMillan. When you're sashaying to your side, you've got to keep your balance and make sure that your eyes stay on the ball. So a freely on strike. End of the first over, and Pakistan is 1 for 9.
There's the skipper. Oozes confidence, this guy. Upset a few Australians, I think, in Australia last time he toured there. You know, who would have thought a guy on his first tour would have the right to run down the track and smack Warney back over his head a couple of times.
Certainly not
and
Warney.
Then showing the back, showing the bat and showing where it went. And they have special academies now, I think. You know, they incorporate all of this sort of stuff. Confidence personified. Takes him easy. He's enjoyed captaining this team too, I think. He'll be around for a long time.
Nathan Astle. Oh, just slides past leg stump. Faisal Zahid, a little bit lucky there. He just wandered across his stumps, left the leg stump slightly exposed, just shaved past it. Astle does have a little bit of in-swing naturally with his bowling style. So the men on the leg side will do plenty of work. That was Alex Tate doing the fielding at fine leg.
He's a pretty handy all-round cricketer, Nathan Astle. Bowls this stuff pretty well on his home turf in New Zealand.
And long on will come and do the work, Craig Spearman. Freeman inside the circle, short fine leg, short third man and cover. Slow ball and outside off stump, called a wide. So had the right idea to Nathan Astle, but
white ball.
Didn't quite get it right as it left his hand.
I don't think he's picked that up at all well, you know. I don't think he picked the slow ball even, the batsman.
They look for two. Good aggressive fielding coming in from deep mid-wicket. That was Matthew Horn.
I've liked the ways the Kiwis have approached this game. You know, they'd already qualified for the final. Pakistanis hadn't won a game, and they were desperate for a win.
Well, they're going to have to do some big hitting. So, as you said, it's over 12 runs and over, and they need a bit of that.
Yeah, they lost 3 early wickets, the New Zealanders, but got to 150. It was a magnificent performance. Afridi's got to go for a few, but he just doesn't look good doing that. He's better off going down the ground.
And again, I think when you're a genuine in-swing bowler like Nathan Astle is, you don't want to try and be too smart and bowl the outswing. If you just want to bowl a slow ball, that's fine. Don't worry about outswing as well. Just get it on the stumps, change of pace. That's his now standard delivery, his normal ball. At the end of the second over, Pakistan is 1 for 17.
So behind the run rate already, probably chasing 120, they'd think, well, it wasn't too bad. But that's a big ask, 150. We've been saying right throughout the tournament that the side batting first to win really needs to get about 140, 150. Anything less, the batting side can just pace themselves.
At the end of the second over.
Hernandez, that pile of junk you sold me broke down again.
It's your car, it's your problem.
That car's guaranteed.
Wise up and read the small print and weep.
Listen, we can do this the hard...
Could be a bit of rain about.
And bad delivery, but to the umpire, no, I thought he was going to be just a little lenient, but he wasn't.
That was a bad delivery and deserved to be called wide. Pushed it way down.
Better bowling.
Good bowling, but you're not going to get 150, are you? Just hit them right in the middle of the bat and push them straight back to the bowler. If you hit it in the middle of the bat, in this particular game, you should at least score 1 run.
It's forever climbing that equation. And that is in the middle of the bat. That has gone wide towards mid-wicket. Heavy outfield again slows it up. And Chris Harris. Probably the world's best fielder, Chris Harris. Don't see him out on the boundary line too often. Brilliant in the infield.
Yeah, the outfield's heavy. Thought he had 4 there.
And again, exposing the leg stump, getting away with it. Phil Chandler fumbling, but no problems for him to go and resurrect the mistake.
Yeah, I don't know why, if it's pitched on leg, would you be moving towards offside and trying to hit it fine? We see Ricky Ponting play the ball off his pads magnificently. He's always got his head in line with his foot.
Bit short and well played. Just too short, and you can't bowl short and wide in any form of cricket. Certainly not when you've only got a couple of fielders on each side.
Yeah, lovely back cut. Just stayed on it all the way.
Just had a piece of paper passed to me, which we'll discuss the next over, because 3 overs have gone and Pakistan is 27 for 1.
Yeah, you can usually check out batsmen and as to what they're about. And I've got a fair idea. He doesn't really read the ball from the bowler's hand consistently well. Most batsmen, if you ask them how many times they actually saw it out of the hand and concentrated that hard, Most of the guys would say maybe 80% of the time. The lower the grade of cricket, the percentage rises. But at this level, it's got to be every ball. I don't think he reads it all that closely.
First ball of the fourth over just whipped away from leg stump to the vacant square leg area, so a boundary to start the over.
Well, he picked that one up nicely. The line and the length. 4 more. It's a bad ball. It should have been hit before, and it was.
And that's close. Maybe the in-swing just pushing the ball down past the leg stump, but good shout and well bowled.
Yeah, Astle wasn't all that interested, was he? Let's have another look. He's in fairly close. Hits on line, maybe missing leg. You can see the middle and off stumps there.
Just going back to that piece of paper passed to me by Robin Jackman. My comment about Chris Harris certainly raised his eyebrows, being one of the best fielders in the world. Wants to know whether he's better than Ricky Ponting or Jonty Rhodes. And that's hit the stumps. So what Jonty Rhodes doesn't do as a fielder, Nathan Astle did as a bowler, hit the stumps.
Well, I think this was a premeditated shot. Hasn't watched it all that closely. The head's gone up. A dead straight delivery on middle stump, and he's tried to hoik it over mid-wicket, so he's bowled. That's what happens. Not all that impressive. 13 from 11, he's gone. 33 for 2 is the score. Well, I figured that if Pakistan lost a couple early, this might not go the full distance, the 14 overs, this particular match. Because as we've seen from the Pakistanis over the years, they can be so brilliant. But if things aren't running for them, they can drop their bundle pretty quickly. This looks like Taimur Khan making his way to the crease.
So the second Pakistani wicket has fallen. And just a nice in-swing. You see the seam nice and upright and coming in towards the stumps just there. And not a favourite sound for any batsman. And nice shot. Definitely placed past Chris Harris. It's into the boundary line. No, Harris does very well. And probably if he keeps doing those sort of things, you'll need the insurance cover that that board offers.
Good stuff, just tapped it back. Made sure that he had both feet inside when he actually put his foot on the ball. Through he went.
And that is a cracking shot. And one bounce over the cover fence. That is a very good way to end the over. Good one for New Zealand though, they got a wicket. Pakistan 10 runs per over, 2 for 40.
4 runs to Afridi of the bowling of Nathan Astle.
Well, 10 and over is what they need, and that's how they've started. Now this is a good shot. He's given himself room, but he's actually hit it where it was supposed to go. If he'd stayed in front of the stumps, he probably would have whacked it straight back over mid-off. But stayed on the ball long enough to hit it for 4. It's a good shot.
Just the 2 bowlers used, and 3 bowlers, 3 overs the maximum for any bowler. So a bowling change has been made. The first one for the New Zealand innings, and to Craig McMillan to bowl. Full, good delivery. Well played by Taimur Khan. So he puts us on the big striker on strike, Shahid Afridi. We saw some big hits by Chris Harris in this game earlier. This young man gets his eye in and gets the foot on the pedal, then you're going to see some equally big hits. Good slow ball.
Leg break he rolls out for his slower delivery. He's amazing, Afridi. Now, I think if he'd made up his mind as the bowler's running in to do, and I'm sure he does this, he premeditates most of the time, Afridi. It was a lovely ball to smack down the ground into the max zone, but he just tapped it for one.
Well, they'll look for two.
Great work, Billy.
You can hear everybody giving applause verbally to Matthew Bell, who ran in quickly, got rid of the ball equally as quickly. Doesn't matter if the throw is not perfect in that situation. If you get rid of the ball like that, then it certainly just stops the batsman taking the second run. All New Zealand medium pacers bowl the same little stuff, don't they, Bruce? Just little in-swingers on their little pitches.
With a little movement.
Leg break. Craig Stearman doing the fielding down there. One run from that last delivery. 5 overs gone. Pakistan 45 for 2.
Afridi, I do enjoy watching him play. I wonder, you never know what's going through his mind, and I think that's why he's so exciting. He might just block a few and then all of a sudden think, well, it's time for one to go. But sometimes he picks the wrong one, unfortunately. He could be something special, really special.
So the beginning of the 6th over as Sunil Gavaskar comes into the commentary position. And Shahid Afridi is the man they need to really get going. And tries to club it to the covers, just a single. Sonny, do you think that New Zealand having to bowl now and play immediately after lunch is an advantage or a disadvantage, or the weather's not too bad out there?
Well, the weather's not too bad, so that's been obviously a plus. But they'll have got a feel of the pitch. So long as they're not exerting themselves too much like Nathan Astle did over here, just jogging along to make sure that the extra run wasn't taken. I think so long as they don't really do any damage to themselves, pulling a muscle or even getting some sort of a strain, they should be all right.
Well, if anybody's going to be talking about conserving energy, Sonny, you are the Minister for Conservation of Energy, so you would know how to do that.
Well, I thought I left it behind with Ian Chappell, but yes, I think conserving energy is very important in a hard game like this.
Giving himself some room before the bowler bowled, and he's going to throw to the bowler's end, Harris, and just misses the stumps. And what a brilliant piece of fielding again from Chris Harris. Long throw and just missed the bowler's stumps. Ran along the ground a little bit, so it didn't really help Nathan Astle.
He's a terrific cricketer, Chris Harris. Very committed, gives everything to the game.
So another single to end of the over. 6 overs gone. Pakistan have brought up their 50.
Well, it's not going to be easy for Pakistan. They need Shahid Afridi to fire. He hasn't quite fired, and he almost lost his wicket here when Chris Harris scored a direct hit. If he had scored a direct hit, then it would have been goodbye Shahid Afridi. The ball went straight to one of the quickest fielders in the world, Chris Harris.
Afridi is 14 and Khan is 9.
$50 for 2, 151 the target, and the leg break to start the New Zealand captain over.
Bit of experimentation there by the New Zealand captain. Craig McMillan bowls good tight medium paces. but in this match, which really is of no consequence as far as New Zealand is concerned.
And placement is what it is all about on this heavy outfield, and what a brilliant piece of fielding again. So those people are being treated now to Chris Harris at his very best with a bat and now in the field.
Yes, it's a superb pick up and throw, which has ensured that only one run has been taken. The Pakistanis and the Indians have a lot to learn about running between the wickets from New Zealand, I think. The New Zealand players in this tournament have certainly taken some tremendous runs between the wickets, converted ones into twos and twos into threes. The Indians and the Pakistanis in comparison have been pretty slow.
And that's straight towards the max zone, and it won't get there on the full, but a boundary 4, which in the max zone gives Shahid Afridi and Pakistan 8 runs.
Well, that's what he's been looking for some time, to get into the max zone. And that's one way he can get Pakistan to a win.
Slow ball, but crashed to cover point. Maybe the hardest ball that we've seen hit in 3 days.
He really thumped it, didn't he? He's given it everything. Look at the way the ball has travelled.
That went fast in slow motion. And he's gone for the longest part of the boundary, and it's over the top for 6. 21 runs from the over. What an over for Pakistan. 69 for 2.
For Pakistan to win, it's very, very important that Shahid Afridi gets going. He's just about beginning to open his shoulders. This is a big hit. He hit the ball before that in the max zone, then a square driven 4, and now this. This is a very, very good over for Pakistan.
New bowler for New Zealand is Horn.
21 runs from the previous over, 18 from the last 3 balls of that over. Matthew Horn to bowl. And Pakistan moves along in the 8th over to 72 for 2 as Robin Jackman comes into the commentary position.
Thank you, David. Just over the halfway stage and just about half the runs required. So Pakistan, courtesy Shahid Afridi, are on target.
Very, very important for Pakistan, as I've been saying, for Afridi to get going. He's the one man who can really hit those big hits.
Look for 2 here.
Although New Zealand don't need to stretch themselves because they're in the finals, it would do no harm to keep their spirits and morale high by winning this game.
Yeah, you just don't want to lose, do you? It's in nobody's nature to want to lose a contest, whatever that contest is. That's a good shot, and takes Pakistan ever closer. 6 runs signalled.
That is right. You don't really want to get into a losing frame of mind. It doesn't help at all. So considering that New Zealand are already in the finals and that is going to be the next match, it's very important for New Zealand to keep going.
That's 2 more.
After 8 overs, Pakistan 84 for 2.